evening, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently just about 7 o'clock on, where are we at here, Wednesday, the 19th of August. And I want to touch base on today's events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Now, the question for today is chasing happiness working for you? Now, it's a little bit odd. I tend to ask a little bit odd questions, but we'll get to that in just a couple minutes. We touched base on the COVID cases. Again, that's the biggest mover right now. It's moving the entire country, moves the economy. We're in election season right now, it's moving that too. But again, the COVID cases are the big mover. It's affecting everybody in some way, shape, or form. And right now, there's 5,515,000 cases in the United States. That's up 41,000 cases since yesterday, and that's with the reduced testing that they've been doing. We're trying to slow the numbers down, which is really sort of tacky. The deaths right now are 172,667 people have died since basically January, February, when this got started. That's up basically 1,100 people or so have died since yesterday. That number is pretty consistent the last couple of days anyway. California's got the largest number of cases right now. They're number first in all of states with the largest number of cases that they have. 640,000 cases right now. They're up 6,000 cases since yesterday. Their deaths right now are 11,540. They're up just under 200 people have died since yesterday when we were chatting last. Florida's at the number 2 spot. Texas is number 3. New York is at number 4. Georgia's got the number 5 spot. Illinois is at number 6. Okay. Arizona's at number 7. Right now, New Jersey is still sitting at number 8. North Carolina is at number 9, and Louisiana is at number 10. Again, the South and the West states have been picking up. This is their initial, not surge, but initial peak, if you would, of COVID cases. The Northeast has their initial peak back in March, basically, when New York and New Jersey were going absolutely crazy. Going around trying to move ventilators and PPE and all sorts of things. However, New Jersey and New York are getting ready for their second surge at this point in time, and that's slowly starting to happen. So right now, though, schools reopenings remain a big thing in the pandemic right now. For the most part, the grade schools, the middle schools, and the high schools come under their individual states and local school boards for their authority to reopen and just how that's actually going to happen. However, there's another set of schools that tend to operate outside of that authority, and it's the colleges and universities, especially the big ones with the big price tags for the tuitions. And I want to touch base on just a few of those, as the students there are really actually young adults, and they're a little bit better at voicing their individual opinions as to how they see things. Not everybody necessarily agrees with them, but it's part of being a youthful kind of guy or gal. I was there before, many years ago. You can tell it's very gray, and I haven't seen those young days for quite a while. But I do sort of remember some of those days. I was in the service when most of this was stuff happening, and I went to school after I got out of the service. But anyway, this week, some universities have decided to reopen their campuses during the COVID pandemic, realizing just in a matter of days, okay, after welcoming the students back to campus, that it really wasn't going to work out quite right. They quickly announced that they were switching to remote learning. The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and the University of Notre Dame were among, the two biggies anyway, that while opening their schools had planned to reopen and then abruptly changed courses too. Surprised? Of course you aren't. Knowing just how predictable and preventable all this was, it didn't surprise anybody really. After videos of maskless college parties went viral, the rapid coronavirus spread on campuses seems absolutely inevitable. In the same week in-person classes began, 4 virus clusters and a rising number of cases at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill left administrators scrambling. They quickly reversed course, announcing that all their undergraduate learning would now be remote, while resident hall occupancy would be reduced. Well, the current data right now presents an untenable situation according to a memo that was sent to the students on Monday. And what about the die-in protests? The faculties and the grad students, the cafeteria people were laying in the halls, protesting the reopening of campuses. And that happened at the flagship campus. And they're worried about their health. Well, police for safety come first, but they were totally ignored. You spoke to the university, and it didn't listen, proclaimed a scathing editorial in the Daily Tar Heel. That's a student newspaper which listed at least 9 missteps that the school had made in reopening. A later Tar Heel editorial gained attention for its bold and spot-on headline and noted, we're tired of the gaslighting, tired of the secrecy, tired of being treated like cash cows by university with such blatant disregard for our lives. That was a direct quote from their student paper. In other parts of the country, concerns about bringing students back to campus are growing, even with detailed protocols in place about testing, cleaning, and quarantining. The World Health Organization this week warned that young people in many countries are becoming the main drivers of the virus spread. University of Notre Dame changed course on Tuesday after cases grew, suspending in-person classes for at least 2 weeks. Michigan State told its undergrads that who are ready to move back in, don't bother. Columbia University facing a backlash after pushing, to bring 60% of its undergraduates back on campus and urging professors to offer more in-person options, reversed its decision last Friday and said that fall classes would be virtual. Columbia's president cited the 14-day quarantine mandated by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo for students arriving from overseas and from an ever-growing list of U.S. states, now numbering 34, as a chief reason for its reversal. That's right. Cuomo basically, if you come from any of these 34 states, they want you quarantined before you walk back into New York. And that's what's causing problems up there at Columbia. Now, colleges that still plan on reopening classrooms and campuses are spelling out a list of restrictions that students must follow when they return. And they look really a lot like solitary confinement, but with internet access. You cannot visit friends' rooms. You cannot go do your laundry. You cannot go outside for a walk. You cannot go shopping. You cannot have visitors to your own room. And you cannot take public transit. Set an edict from New York University, which still plans to have in-person classes and students living in dorms. Is there any question why skepticism about students will handle this just abounds? Paul Krugman, a Nobel laureate, longtime college professor, tweeted last month, do people who think we can safely reopen colleges know any 19-year-olds? Do they remember being 19 themselves? At UNC, concerning memos were sent to all students during the summer. One said coronavirus numbers were not where they should be, and the school promised extensive safety precautions, from capping residence halls to at least 60% of capacity to reduce the number of in-person classes that were actually taught. However, none of the memos really mentioned the real reasons behind the chaotic opening. The decisions that were coming from preserving the brand, pressure from the governing boards and the state legislatures, especially in the red states where safety concerns have really been minimized, and the dire need for tuition revenue. Instead, college presidents, knowing their reputations have been forever stained, are quick to blame the actions of off-campus students and proclaim surprise, despite the clear warning signals about the velocity and magnitude of the spread of this virus. It's absolutely amazing. And they're all just trying to cover their butt at this point in time. It's all of the deflect at somebody else's problem. It wasn't my fault. We reopened, but it wasn't our fault. It was other people who did those things. Does this sound familiar? Okay, it's been a playbook for the last 3 years. Right now on the financial side, stocks closed lower today as the grim outlook on the economy from the Federal Reserve really thwarted the enthusiasm for a record valuation for Apple. Apple was really starting to go off the wall, and then the statement got released, or they finally paid attention to it, and the market just sort of tumbled. The S&P 500 fell 0.4%. The Dow Jones Industrial lost 85 points and closed to 27,692. The NASDAQ Composite, which was hitting record highs or getting ready to hit record highs, okay, dropped 0.6% to 11,146. What was the driver for all this? Really? Okay. In the minutes from its July meeting, the Fed said, and I quote, the ongoing public health crisis would weigh heavily on economic activity, employment, and inflation in the near term, and was posing considerable risks to the economic outlook over the medium term, end quote. Now, the Fed kept rates unchanged last month, knowing that the economy was still in need of monetary support. That comment, however, knocked the S&P 500 from an intraday record set yesterday, okay, and the Dow and NASDAQ also turned negative just minutes after that was released. Treasury yields, meantime, they rose following the release of the U.S. dollar. Gold prices fell in the news. Okay, this is a problem with all the markets in general. Okay, wherever you go in the markets, okay, they're really all overtly sensitive to news and to rumors. So if you're counting on the markets for your financial security and to try and make you happy, be careful. It's not happening. Okay, no matter how high they go, every 7 to 10 years, something happens and there's a crash. And it can take up to 16 years to get back to break even. And what nobody ever tells you, okay, these are people that are getting ready to retire. They have a market crash within 5-8 years. Okay, their retirement is devastated. If you got past all those things, if you got past all that, you actually made it into retirement and the market didn't crash the few years before you got ready for it, chances are you're going to have to live through at least 2, possibly 3 market crashes while you're actually in retirement. Not one financial planner ever mentions that. Not one. And that's when you're most susceptible to having problems. Where do you get to work at when you're 70 years old? Who's hiring? It was bad enough when you're 50, nobody wanted to hire you. Now at 70, what jobs are available? And that's why you see readers and people stocking shelves at $16.70, okay, at Walmart and Sam's and Target. That's why you see those 65, 70-year-old waitresses waiting tables. They don't do that for fun. They do that because they need to make up some money. Things happen in their lives. And that really brings me to the question for today. Is chasing happiness actually working for you? Okay. Now, there's an old man. He lived in a small village. He was one of the most unfortunate people in the world. The whole village was really tired of him because he was always gloomy. The old man was always complaining, always in a bad mood. Real kind of a bummer kind of a person to be around. And it seemed that the longer he lived, the more vile he became, and the more poisonous were his words. People avoided him like the plague, okay, because his misery was just contagious. Nobody wanted to be around it. It seemed even unnatural and insulting to be happy next to him. He created a feeling of unhappiness for everyone that was around him. So people just didn't go near him. They avoided him as much as possible. But one day he turned 80. And the most incredible thing happened instantly. Everyone started hearing a rumor about how the old man was actually happy. He wasn't complaining. He was actually even smiling. They said they'd never seen him smile. The whole village gathered around to discuss, what was going on, what changed with this old man. They asked him, "What happened to you?" And the old man replied, "Nothing special. For 80 years, I've been chasing happiness, and it was useless. Then today I decided to live without happiness and just enjoy life. That's why I'm happy now. This is one of the great challenges that you have, particularly you, if you're with me right now. Okay, I'm talking particularly to you because you're a striver. People that watch this thing with me, okay, want to get places. They want to do things. They want to accomplish things with their lives. They want to move forward. Okay, right now, okay, where you are just not good enough, and I understand that. You have a deep down burning desire for better, more fulfilling life that makes you perpetually discontent and never exactly satisfied, never fulfilled, always, 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 always pushing for more, the next bigger and better thing. And that's really a good thing. And I feel the same way just like you. However, it can also be a bad thing. And here's the shift that I want to really suggest right now that you make. People pursue success because they think that it will make them happy. But even psychologists have proven it's exactly the opposite. Not only does success not bring you happiness, but it takes happiness to bring success. It's the other way around. Once you're happy, success then sort of comes to you. If you focus on being happy now, not only will you make yourself happy, and you'll not push happiness off to some distant place in the future that perpetually fades on the horizon like a mirage, but you'll be happy now, and you actually be able to be more successful. So the bottom line here is, don't be that old crotchety old guy or woman, okay, unhappy as you continue to chase happiness. Instead, look around you and see all that you have to be happy for right now today. It will not only make you happy, it'll help you become more successful today and every day that you choose to be happy. Where are you happy in your life right now? What are you happy about? Enjoy it. Savor the experience right now as you go through life. As you do, you'll have more experiences to savor on your journey, and things will get better as you go. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse. I'm the Real Money Doctor. My only goal is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. If you find these sessions that I do pretty much on a daily basis, on a weekly basis anyway, helpful, and want to know more how I can help you get that ultimate secure retirement that you've always dreamed of, and do it probably within the next 3 to 5 years, go to my site, drrousenow.com, and see if I can help you. Watch the video, take a peek at that, and let me know. And then we can go from there. For now, I appreciate you spending some time with me. I know I enjoy spending time with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow around 7 o'clock. Thank you.